We have talked about buying fixed assets, we've talked about using fixed assets, and now we're going to talk about getting rid of them. How would we get rid of them? We might sell them, we might discard them, we might exchange them, although for our purposes we're not going to cover exchanges, we're just going to talk about selling or discarding the asset. When we get rid of a fixed asset, the first thing we have to do is to bring depreciation up to date through the date of disposal. Now if I were to dispose of my asset on January 1st, well, I really wouldn't have to do that, right? Because I would have recorded my depreciation on December 31st. But what if I get rid of it, for example, on November 11th, today, or on February 10th? Whatever date, I'm going to have to record the depreciation from the last time I recorded depreciation, most likely at year end, through today. The next thing is I have to determine if I have a gain or a loss on the disposal of that fixed asset. To see if we have a gain or a loss, we're going to compare what we get for the asset, we're going to call that the proceeds, to the asset's book value. If we get less for the asset than its book value, we have a loss. Losses are a bad thing. They are like expenses. They are recorded on the income statement and they make my net income go down. They have a debit balance. If I get more for the asset than its book value, well, that's a good thing. I have a gain. Gains are like revenue. They're recorded on the income statement to make my income go up, and they have a credit balance. We've had some losses already, I believe. Losses are debits like expenses. Gains are credits like revenues. So if I get more for the asset than its book value, that's a good thing. I have a gain. If I get less for the asset than its book value, that's a bad thing. I have a loss. Then I'm going to make a journal entry. Well, hopefully I'm going to get some cash when I get rid of my assets, so I'm going to debit cash. Now let's suppose I'm getting rid of my truck. Tell me one very obvious thing I need to get off my books if I sell my truck. The truck. The truck is on my books for its original cost. Its original cost. So I'm going to credit that truck to get it off my books for its original cost. If I get the truck off my books, I also have to get its accumulated depreciation off my books also. So I have to get the truck off my books at its original cost and also get its accumulated depreciation. Now what we'll normally find is that that doesn't balance at that point. To make it balance, I'm going to need either a debit to a loss account or a credit to a gain account. One of those two, not both. But if I get less for the asset than its book value, I'm going to debit a loss. If I get more for the asset than its book value, I'm going to credit a gain. Let's do an example. If you don't have your calculators out, you're going to need them. We buy a truck January 1st, 2011 for $19,000. $1,000 residual. It's going to last for 6 years. Straight line depreciation. We're going to sell the truck on October 1st, 2016. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take a minute and calculate how much 1 year's worth of depreciation will be on this truck. How much per year are we recording for depreciation? $3,000. Good. 19 minus 1, cost minus residual, is 18. Divided by the life of 6, 18 divided by 6 says each year I'm going to record $3,000 depreciation. Do we agree? Straight line. Well, the next thing I'd like to see is at the very beginning of 2016 or at the very, very end of 2015, either way, how much accumulated depreciation do I have? How many years would I have had this asset as of December 31st, 2015 or January 1st, 2016? The only way to get it right is to get my fingers out, right? Don't try to do it in your head. You're going to get the wrong answer. So when did we get it? 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have had it for 5 years. Please count on your fingers. So we have had it for 5 years. So my accumulated depreciation at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, would be $15,000. We don't get rid of the truck on January 1st, 2016. When do we get rid of the truck? October 1st. So I need now to record a partial year's depreciation. We've talked about that already. How many months depreciation do I need to record? When in doubt, get your fingers out. Quite honestly, that's going to be your best answer. But it is 9, okay? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 9 months, okay? Why not October? Well, this is happening on October 1st. What if I were getting rid of it on October 25th? Then it would be 10. So what I want you to do now is to calculate how much 9 months depreciation is and make the journal entry for me, please. How much would 9 months depreciation be? $2,250. Very good. 2 ways to figure it. They'll give you the same answer. $3,000 for a full year times 9 divided by 12, or 3,000 divided by 12 times 9 months. Either way gives you $2,250. My adjusting entry is our typical depreciation adjusting entry. What account do I debit? What account do I debit? Depreciation expense. Very good. What account do I credit? Accumulated depreciation. That's my plain old Chapter 3 adjusting entry. Debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation. Just like I would make at the end of any period. But now I've got to make it on the date I get rid of this asset. The next thing we need to know is, after I make this entry, what is the balance in my accumulated depreciation account? Well, I already had $15,000, right, for the 5 years already. Plus, I just added $2,250 into that account. Says that right now I have a balance of $17,250 in my accumulated depreciation. I need to know the accumulated depreciation because I need to calculate my book value. My book value is the asset's cost minus its accumulated depreciation. Cost is 19. My accumulated depreciation is 17,250. It says right now I have a book value then of $1,750. Put a little star beside that number if you would, because we're now going to use that number several different times. Now we're going to sell the truck. And every time I sell the truck, I'm going to compare what I get for it to $1,750. If I get more for the truck than $1,750, I'm going to have a gain. If I get less for the truck than $1,750, I'm going to have a loss. First scenario, I sell the truck for $1,750. Am I happy? Am I sad? Yeah. Did I have a gain? Did I have a loss? No, I just broke even. So I got $1,750 for it. It had a book value of $1,750. I have no gain and no loss. Let's make a journal entry. What do I have more of? Cash. How much cash do I have? $1,750 is how much I got for selling my truck. What is one most obvious account I need to get off of my books when I sell my truck? The truck. All right, let's do the truck first. The truck is on my books right now for how much? $19,000. I've got to take it off my books for $19,000. If you would just skip a line then, and let's put a credit to truck for $19,000. Debit cash for what we get, credit truck for its original cost. And if I get the truck off my books, I also must get what related account off my books as well? Accumulated depreciation has a credit balance. I'm going to get it off my books in with a debit. So I'm going to debit cash for what I receive. I'm going to debit accumulated depreciation for what it's on my books for to get it down to zero. And then I'm going to credit the truck for its original cost. And that was when I sold the truck for $1,750. Let's sell the truck again. This time, though, we sold it for $2,000. Forget that last example, brand new example. We sold it for $2,000. Happy or sad?
Happy.
Happy. Why? Because we have a gain. I got $2,000 for it. It has a book value of $1,750. I have a gain then of $250. Let's make a journal entry. Do I still debit cash? Yes, but how much cash did I get this time? $2,000. Do I still debit accumulated depreciation? I sure do. I have to get it off my books. Do I still credit the truck? Yes. But this time, to make the entry balance, I'm going to have another credit for $250, and it would go to gain on sale of truck. Gains are like revenues. They are recorded with a credit. Now we have two debits and two credits in that journal entry. It does not matter which order you list the debits in, nor which order you list the credits in, as long as you list all of the debits before any of the credits. Let's do another one. Sell the truck for $1,000. Happy or sad? Sad. Got $1,000. It has a book value of $1,750. This time we have a loss then of $750. Let's make a journal entry. Do I still debit cash? Yes, but for how much? $1,000. Do I still debit accumulated depreciation? Yes. Do I still credit the truck? Yes. But this time, to make it balance, I need a debit, and it goes to loss on sale. Again, 3 debits. You can list them in any order you want to. Just list all the debits before any of the credits. So in all these cases, we debit cash for what we get. We debit accumulated depreciation for the balance on my books to get it down to zero. I credit the truck for its original cost. I either debit a loss or I credit a gain. One more example. No one wants my truck. I have to push it off a bridge. No one will buy my truck. Happy or sad? Sad. Edna thought she was distraught before. Now she's really sad. Gain or loss? Well, we got a very big loss this time, right? The full 1,750 then would be the amount of my loss. Yes. Let's make a journal entry. Do I still debit cash? No, that really is sad. Do I still debit accumulated depreciation? Yes. Do I still credit the truck? Yes. This time I have to debit a loss. I can't even call it loss on sale of truck. I had to give it a little different word, loss on disposal of truck, because I didn't sell it. So I still take the truck off my books at what it originally cost me. I still debit accumulated depreciation to get it off my books. Debit a loss to make a balance.